Okay, you guys, let's find out what some of these Villages weirdos are doing this week. A villager will let a jury decide a case in which he is charged with stalking a female resident over a political argument. Ed McGinty, 73, of the village of Hadley, is scheduled to face the next jury next month in Sumter County Court. The trial is set to begin February 7th with a pretrial conference set for February 3rd. McGinty, a vehement anti-Trumper, is well known in the Villages for large signs posted around his golf cart in high visibility areas in the Villages, Florida. McGinty was arrested on stalking charge September 24th after reportedly showing up at a woman's house. He had been banned from the Hadley pool the previous day after verbally assaulting the woman who had been wearing a Joe Biden sucks t-shirt. First of all, she shouldn't have been wearing that t-shirt anywhere out in public because you know that's going to cause controversial arguments. You know that. So as far as I'm concerned, I think maybe you should have been charged too because you kind of like instigated it. But secondly, how can they ban somebody from a pool that's an amenity here in Florida when Mr. Rohan himself told me that legally he could not ban landscapers, people that are non-residents, to using our restrooms at our neighborhood pools? What? Come on, Rohan, pull your head out of your ass. Wildwood police arrested a man caught driving without a license. Well, I'm shocked. Terrence Morkesi McMillan, 24, of Wildwood, was driving a gray 2019 Nissan when he failed to come to a complete stop at the stop sign located at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue and Kilgore Street, according to the arrest report. During the traffic stop, McMillan admitted he does not have a driver's license and has never obtained one. He was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and was released after posting, wait for it, $150 bond. Villagers are eagerly signing up for discounted memberships at the new BJ's Wholesale Club under construction at Lady Lake. The parking lot was full Friday at BJ's Membership Center, which has opened at 13469 U.S. Highway 27 and 441 in Lady Lake. There were numerous golf carts as well as automobiles in the parking lot of the large white trailer where BJ's memberships are being sold. The surge comes on the heels of a direct mail piece sent this week to area residents. The mailer offered a heavy, discounted $25 12-month membership at BJ's Wholesale Club. The membership usually costs $55. Construction is moving fast at BJ's Wholesale Club, which is located at Sumter County portion of Lady Lake. The store is located at 13585 North 86th Path in Lady Lake, next to Lowe's Home Improvement Store. The construction's moving fast at BJ's Wholesale Club, which is located at the Sumter County portion of Lady Lake. The store is located at 13585 Northeast 86th Path in Lady Lake, next to Lowe's Home Improvement Store. An opening day has not been announced. I hear pros and cons about BJ's. Some people love it, some people hate it. I've never been to it, so I don't know anything about it. 87-year-old husband won't be prosecuted for visiting wife at assisted living facility. Yeah, this goes back during the COVID shutdown. His wife was in this assisted living. I don't know what the situation was there, but he God bless him, he would sneak in to see his wife after being told several times, you can't come in here, you can't come in here, you're exposing people, blah, blah, blah. And he wouldn't listen. So finally, I think they arrested him. So I'm glad to see that they got the situation resolved. And what would you do in that situation? Executive golf courses will open late due to freezing temperatures. Yes, we had freezing temperatures for a couple of days, which is not unusual. Somebody asked me one time, how long is our winters here? And my best guess during the winter, which is like basically our winter here is like late January, kind of early February, is about 15 days of cold days, roughly. Don't quote me on that for every year. You know, the weather changes from year to year, but an average about 15 days. We've had probably, 7 or 8 days now of fairly cold weather. When I say fairly cold, the nighttime getting down to, say, high 30s and lower. So here, the last few days where it got down in the 20s, it was like 2 or 3 days of that, maybe. It hits the news because of the strawberry fields this time of year. They got to set out the pods, and sometimes I'll turn on the sprinklers and sprinkle water to keep them from freezing. A villager was arrested on a drunk driving charge after crashing into a parked SUV. A resident of the 1000 block of Dustin Drive in the village of Silver Lake got home at 8:45 Thursday when he heard a loud crash outside his home, according to the arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. The resident saw that his silver SUV, which had been parked in the street. Why is it parked in the street? You have a driveway. Why are you parking your car in the street? He heard the driver pushing the gas pedal in his red sedan and was attempting to flee. The driver was identified as 76-year-old Hippolyta Montero, who lives at 515 Tarson Boulevard, also in the village of Silver Lake. He admitted he had been drinking, but claimed he had only had 2 beers. He seemed confused about where he was, the report indicated. He agreed to participate in sobriety exercises, but couldn't stand without swaying or needing balance. He was asked where he was on a 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being completely sober. He said he thought he was about an 8. Well, guys, being honest. Remember, kids, you do not have to provide evidence against yourself. Montero was physically only able to provide a breath sample, which measured 0.082 blood alcohol scale. Boy, you're just barely over the illegal limit, just barely. Anyway, he went to jail and he was released on a $1,000 bond. Bradenton Recreation Center and Family Pool will be closed February 7th. Canal Street Recreation Center and Family Pool to be closed in February. Lake Meona Pickleball Court closure to begin Monday. The Lady Lake man has been arrested twice in a single week on drug charges. Richard Lee Cooper Jr., 41, was riding as a passenger in a gray SUV, pulling a trailer at about 6:30 p.m. Trailer. This is one of these people I'm telling you about. They drive around pulling a trailer, trying to sell things. They sell palm trees. Who knows where they got them? They don't have a store. They don't have a plant city anywhere where they raise these things. They'll come to your house, knock on the door and say, hey, you want to buy a palm tree? We got this one left over. I'll sell it to you at a real good price. Don't do business with those people. Trust me on this. These are the same people that drive around with a couple of lawnmowers on a trailer, and they go around and say, hey, we'll give you an estimate of mowing your grass. We'll mow your grass. We'll take care of you. Now, a lot of those people are very honest, hardworking people. I choose not to do business with most of them because I don't know who they are or where they come from. Thursday on U.S. Highway 27 in Leesburg, when the vehicle was pulled over because the trailer had only one functioning tail light and no visible tag, according to the arrest report. Cooper's girlfriend was driving the SUV. Cooper was found to be in possession of about 30 syringes as well as methamphetamine. At the time, Cooper was free on a $3,000 bond following his drug-related arrest in January. He was taken into custody and charges of possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was booked without bond at the Lake County Jail. They just don't get any smarter. Let me just throw something in there. This is a letter to the editor from me. Here's my rant. Remember, I've told you that I don't think there's anything wrong with our supply chain when it comes to the truckers in this country, and I still say that, and I stand by it. The truckers are ready. They're doing their thing. They're out there hustling. They're trying to make a buck, and they're trying to do whatever they got to do to make that buck. So, if it's a supply chain issue, for those of you that keep saying it is, it's the truckers. It's in the trucking industry. That's what's causing this. Okay. That's what's causing the high price, they say. That's what's causing the milk to be $5 a gallon. I guess the cows don't give milk much anymore. All kinds of stuff like that. I'm thinking about getting another pup, dog. We haven't had one for a couple of years now because it's taken us this long to kind of get over Maggie. So I'm looking online, thinking about getting another Boston Terrier because I really like the attitude of the Boston Terrier. I mean, she was a fun dog. Sue and I both, we enjoyed Maggie. The price of Boston Terriers, I gave $500 for Maggie. And, I'm willing to pay that for a good breed dog. She was purebred. She was AKC registered, all that kind of stuff. $500. Today, that same Boston Terrier, and I'm not talking about show dogs. I'm talking about just a purebred dog that I can register. I don't know why we need to register them when we keep them for a family pet anyway, but it seems like it's important, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, something that I can register if I want to. I'm not going to breed them or anything like that. I keep it for a family pet so we can, spoil it like we did the other one. $3,000 to $5,000 per pup. And you don't find very many of them for sale. Not online anyway, and I've checked a lot of places. Now, If it's a supply chain issue like everybody seems to think it is, how's come the price of dogs is going up like that? Somehow are dogs not having sex anymore? I mean, I don't get it. I'm not paying it. It's just that simple. I'm not paying it. So we'll do without a dog. But I'm looking, but I'm not paying $3,000 to $5,000. That's nuts. That's crazy nuts. That's people taking advantage of the situation, and they're pointing the finger at COVID, saying, well, because the slot, bull, BS on all that. Construction is expected to begin in May on the Sprouts Farmers Market in the Villages. Construction is expected to be completed by February 2023. The health-oriented grocer, oh, you know what that means, health-oriented, that means high price. To be located in a new building to be constructed at the intersection of County Road 466 and Buena Vista Boulevard. The store will be built on the empty lot east of Watercress Independent Living. Sprouts Farmers Market is an American specialty grocer offering a health-oriented assortment that focuses on fresh and naturally derived products. Ooh, this sounds more expensive as I keep reading. Its offerings are especially focused on produce. 22% of its sales last year. I'm sure the price on that will be really high because of the supply chain issue there. You know, a woman will lose her driver's license after crashing into the gates last year in the Villages. Danielle Dalton, 45, who lives on Grays Airport Road in Lady Lake, pleaded no contest last week in Sumter County Court. 2 charges of driving under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident. In addition to losing her license for 6 months, she has been placed on probation for 1 year and ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. The Fort Lauderdale native was accompanied by her dog when she was arrested August 16th by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies after crashing into the entrance gate in the village of Hacienda of Mission Hills. Alcohol beverage containers were found in her car. She refused to provide breath samples. There are more than 3,000 gate repairs needed each year in the Villages, and the majority of the damage at the gates can be attributed to distracted drivers. Those who knock down gates are assessed a fee of $250. The district office recovers about $50,000 per year from the at-fault drivers, some of it coming from insurance. Yeah, distracted drivers. People, I don't think they understand. They've never been educated on what is a distracted driver. I've had extensive training in that. Working for UPS, you're required to go to these classes, so it isn't something that I volunteered to do, but I'm kind of glad I did it. Distracted drivers. Do you ever drive your car and eat French fries that you got at McDonald's while you're driving? That's distracted driving. Did you ever drive down the road and reach over to change channels on your radio? That's distracted driving. You ever take your hands off the steering wheel to do anything in the car for any reason? That's distracted driving. Don't do it. Your life could depend on it. Bridgeport Recreation Center and Family Pool will be closed Wednesday. Charlotte Neighborhood Adult Pool will be closed in February. A reduction of bond is being sought for a man jailed in a New Year's Day knife attack on a woman in the Villages. Jesse Charles Webb, 32, is being held on a $100,000 bond at Lady Lake County Jail on felony charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and false imprisonment. The public defender's office has filed a motion seeking to reduce Webb's bond to $20,000. A hearing on the motion is set for February 9th in Lady Lake Court. A woman living on the historic side of the Villages said Webb woke her up early on the morning of January 1 and announced he had a surprise for her, according to the arrest report. He took her outside, pushed her into the shed, and would not allow her to leave. He was armed with a knife and got on top of her, and they argued about jealousy issues. I'm not playing around, he said, and held a knife to her throat. I'm going to have to kill you now. Yeah, let's reduce the bond on this nutbag. Hell no, look at him. He's on drugs or something, I don't know. He's an idiot. Keep him in jail. Keep him away from all of us. We don't need that guy around here at all. Remember last week I reported about this historic tree that 7-Eleven's contractor they hired destroyed it. Here's a letter to the editor, and he brings up a good point. To the editor, first of all, you should be sending this letter to the officials. The editor has nothing to do with anything going on in government around here. None. I can't believe that the town voted to protect the historic tree at the old BP gas station and had no one there to watch the destruction of the tree. This seems to me to be a willful violation of a local ruling. The contractor should be held liable to the full extent of the law and possibly banned from the town of Lady Lake to do any more work in the area. I've done many jobs like this up north, and when we had to protect building tree or any ordered protecting of the area, we had an official at the site making sure that the order was enforced. Hopefully in the future, the town will hold all parties fully liable, including the general contractor and the franchise that hired them. That was sent in by Jack Mellon from the village of Della Vista. I can't argue with that, Jack. Again, I brought this up last week in the news report, and here we are this week, and we got a report about it. Just ironic. It's about your friends and family that come down in motorhomes and things like that and park them in your driveway and out front of the house and things. You can't do that here. Parking of oversized vehicles can stir up neighborhoods in the village. As recently, the Community Development District 6 Board of Supervisors was called upon to address a repeat violator, the owner of an oversized truck parking on the residential street in the Villages. You guys know about that. And there are villagers or their visitors with RVs or boats who are known to overstay their welcome in many neighborhoods. It's probably a good time for the refresher on the rules. If you don't know the rules, go to your district rules and pull that up and read it. And they generally will tell you things there. I'm going to read a little bit here. I'm not going to read all this. The district adopted rules for home unit states. No trucks over 3/4 ton size, boats, or recreational vehicles shall be parked, stored, or otherwise remain on any lot or street except for service vehicles. In other words, somebody coming to your house to work on your home, spray your yard, those people. Except for service vehicles located thereon on a temporary basis while performing and service for a resident. In other words, they can't sit there for days either. What does that mean? If a vehicle is parked in the street and does not meet the aforementioned criteria, there would not be a violation of the rule. However, if a resident is parking a vehicle in excess of a 3/4 ton in size, a boat, or recreational vehicle in the street, it would be a violation of the rule, and the Community Standards Department would follow the process in bringing the property back into compliance. And it goes on. The Villages Gem and Mineral Society's annual show set in February at Seabreeze. A Village of Collier resident who admitted she had been drinking at a town square in the Villages will lose her driver's license. Destra Aaron Tantala, 42, who lives in the Parabella Villas in the Village of Collier, pleaded no contest last week to a charge of driving under the influence in Sumter County Court. She will lose her driver's license for 6 months, has been placed on probation for 1 year, and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. Totalo was found passed out in a vehicle at 3 a.m. June 19 at Evans Prairie Trail at Buena Vista Boulevard, according to the arrest report. Sheriff's Office, the vehicle was running and the brake lights were illuminated. The vehicle was in drive. What do you say? Good Lord. A lady sex offender from Michigan has registered a permanent address in the Villages. Kimberly Ann Ritchie, 41, on Thursday registered the address at 626 Tarson Boulevard in the village of Silver Lake on the historic side of the Villages with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The property is owned by someone in Ocala, and it appears to be a rental. She was convicted in 2007 for fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct in Lenawee County, Michigan. She goes by the alias Kimberly Ann Frost, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Well, there's another one. A villager was arrested after he was spotted near his estranged wife's golf cart while it was parked at Panera. The woman was at Panera at Spanish Springs on Saturday morning when she looked out the window and saw 68-year-old Carrie Dan Azzariti, A-Z-Z-A-R-I-T-I, Azzariti, going through her golf cart, which was parked in front of the restaurant, according to the arrest report of the Lady Lake Police Department. The woman, who has a restraining order against her husband, went outside and confronted him. The Massachusetts native began yelling profanity at his wife and got back into a black four-door Mercedes. Azzariti quickly fled the scene. Officers found him at about 1:30 p.m. that day at his current home at 935 Tiresome Boulevard on the historic side of the Villages. He was arrested for violating a court order and booked without bond at the Lady Lake County Jail. Zariardi was originally arrested March 29 after an alleged attack on his wife of 40 years at their home in Della Vista South. The condition of Zariardi's release had been that he have no contact with his wife. However, Zariardi was arrested July 21 at 734 Hernandez Drive in Villa de la Mesa on Sumter County warrant charging him with violating his pretrial release. He was held until December 21 at the Sumter County Detention Center. Upon his release, he was placed on 18-month probation. Florida's friendliest hometown. If this is the friendliest, the Recreation Department has been overwhelmed with donations of memorabilia from retired first responders in the Villages. The Recreation Department has announced that it has ceased accepting applications for donated memorabilia for the First Responders Recreation Center being constructed in the Marion County section of the Villages. The Amenity Authority Committee decided to name the new recreation center in honor of first responders who have served our nation. The total cost of the project, including the acquisition of the property from the First Baptist Church of the Villages, is $7.175 million. The new recreation center complex will include an 18-hole putt-and-play course, walking trail, fire pit, resort-style pool, and sand volleyball. Winter Fine Art Show set February 12th at Laurel Manor Recreation Center. A teen driver wrecked a vehicle Tuesday afternoon at a shopping plaza on County Road 466 in the Villages. The 17-year-old was at the wheel of a black Nissan Versa at 4:20 p.m., heading west on County Road 466 and was speeding and weaving in and out of traffic, witness told an investigator from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The teen driver lost control of the vehicle and it overturned, crashing into the sign at the Santa Fe Crossing Plaza at 8590 County Road 466 across from the village of Hacienda of Mission Hills. The teen driver was not injured. However, he was ticketed on a charge of careless driving. In addition, the Sheriff's Office, the Public Safety Department also responded to the scene. A construction fence was set up to protect the mauled tree at 7-Eleven site in the Villages. Look at this construction. That ain't going to protect anything. Just a plastic orange. You've seen them. What a joke. They sure went out of their way to put that up, didn't they? Is a tree that important? I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about, that it was considered to be historic, like a historic neighborhood. That was historic. It was declared. It was protected. And somehow, some way, it got mauled. A handyman with a history of rip-offs in the Villages will not be prosecuted in a child molestation case. David Carl Hall, 51, of Fruitland Park, had been arrested October 29 on a warrant charging him with lewd and lascivious molestation. However, the prosecutor's office announced this past month the case is being dropped. Based on existing evidence in this case, there is not a substantial likelihood of conviction at trial, said State Attorney William Ladson. The girl, whose age was redacted from the affidavit of probable cause from the Leesburg Police Department, said she had been suicidal because of what happened with Hall more than 3 years ago. The girl was interviewed last year at the Children's Advocacy Center in Leesburg about the alleged abuse. Hall, who has a long history of arrest, was jailed in 2020 on a warrant charging him with ripping off a woman in the village of Silver Lake. There's a lot of crap that goes on in Silver Lake. This is why I just say, if you can afford it, don't go there. He had been hired to fix her roof. He took her money and disappeared. Hall's criminal record also includes 2018 arrests after ripping off an elderly woman, also in the village of Silver Lake. A sleeping sidewalk sunbather was arrested at the Sandalwood condominiums in Wildwood. Paula Jean Morelli, 47, of Leesburg, was found at 10:45 a.m. Monday on the sidewalk at the condominium complex across from the village of Bradford. The 911 caller described the Geneva, New York native as breathing but not awake, according to the arrest report. When deputies arrived on the scene, Morelli rolled over and sat up. Morelli told deputies she was awaiting a friend to pick her up, and she decided to lay down on the sidewalk and sunbathe. She had one shoe on and the sock from her other foot was laying on the ground. She said she had taken off the shoe and sock because they were wet. Sumter County Fire Rescue was summoned to the scene to evaluate her. She was found to be in possession of a glass smoking device, which tested positive for cocaine residue. Morelli was arrested on a charge of possession of drug equipment. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $1,000 bond. I only bring this up because where the Sandalwood condominiums is at literally is like next door to the Villages down there, as you've seen across the street for the village of Bradford. As you go down toward the Finney area, it's right on the right-hand side of that road. You can't miss it. Okay. I think that's going to be the news for this week. And I hope I got a good mixture in there. That's what I'm trying to do, the good and the bad. But I got to tell you, it just seems like there's more bad than there are good. So just let me say, on top of all this, the merch store is in the description box below. I do have a t-shirt that I put on there and designed. It's nothing fancy. I'm trying this new company out. That's all I'm doing. If you're interested in purchasing a shirt, I think it was like $3.50 per shirt. They're going to ship it. You order it. You can pick the colors out. They ship it. I want to see how that works out, if it works out okay. If it does, then I may stick with this company and then broaden my store to include coffee cups, hats, t-shirts, and whatever else I can put in there. And I don't even know I can do that yet, but I got to do this first. And so I'm trying it out. If you're interested, they're there. Just go down and click the link. Pick a color, tell them your size, and I think they said that they're going to start shipping those things out. You're only limited to so many days to order, and I think we've got like 13 days left to order. And then after that, then they make them, and they'll start shipping them out. I believe they said February 20th, I think, is the shipping dates. I had to order one for myself. You'd think they'd give me a free sample, wouldn't you? And the reason why I ordered one for myself is I want to see the quality of the t-shirt. The last company I did business with, the quality was good, but they were expensive. And I just don't like the idea of selling a $35 t-shirt. That just seems crazy to me, but I can't complain about the quality of the t-shirt. So this one here is going to be cheaper. The money is going to be used for W&L show. I'll let you know right now. Those of you that don't even like W&L, then you ain't going to want to buy one. But the $3.50 I make on each t-shirt is going to be set aside to go with the super chat money that I get also from that show. I'm trying to increase the amount of money we have to buy prizes. I would like the prizes to be significant. You know, I'm doing what I can do to get the extra money to have significant prizes. That's what it's all about. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here and just simply say, don't leave your keys in the golf cart.